thousands of years, ancient texts have described gods, beings who came from the heavens. You always hear that whenever someone descended, they emitted loud sounds accompanied by lightning, fire, and smoke. They must have come from a place full of power and magic, perhaps from the stars. But who are the powers did these mysterious beings use to dominate the sky? Did our ancient ancestors create gods from their own imaginations? Or simply wanted to reflect events they believed were real? Our ancestors misunderstood extraterrestrial beings as gods because that was the only way they could explain what they witnessed. Millions of people worldwide believe we were visited in the past by extraterrestrial beings. Could our ancestors' gods actually be visitors from another world with superior intelligence? A cloud of history. Episode 1. Gods are extraterrestrial beings. God Shiva is believed to oversee creation, new beginnings, as well as preservation and destruction. It is believed he has a third eye in the center of his forehead for seeing through all space-time of the universe. Interestingly, in some ancient Vedic texts, the center of the forehead is considered the center of the universe and indirectly also the center of creative power. Not only in Vedic texts, but in many cultures, gods, paintings, and sculptures show that the gods of various peoples have a third eye on their foreheads. Sadhguru, a yogi and mystic from India, was asked whether gods are extraterrestrials. He explained that the Hindu god Shiva is not from Earth, and there are no references to the god's childhood anywhere. All stories are only about his youth. This could mean Shiva came to Earth with extraterrestrial intelligence to teach his 7 sages. These 7 sages were sent by him to explore Earth and spread the knowledge he taught them. Nowhere is it mentioned where Shiva was born or how he died, nor does he have parents. Thus, it is possible he came to Earth with his higher intelligence and powers that humans did not possess at that time. There are many similarities between gods from different cultures. So perhaps from one god, later named differently in various cultures and regions. Over 150 years ago, the city of Çanakkale, Turkey, was the center of one of the most famous archaeological sites found in modern history. There they discovered the legendary city of Troy. In 1868, amateur archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann began his search for what he believed was the military camp serving the Battle of Troy. Described in one of the most famous works of classical literature, Homer's epic Iliad from the 8th century BCE. The terrible war began from the hatred and jealousy of the gods. While most scholars believed the story of the Trojan War was fictional, Schliemann was determined to prove that the legend was real. His discoveries shocked the archaeological world. With a copy of the epic Iliad in hand, he decided to find Troy. Embarking on the journey, Schliemann dug a deep hole. And then he found the real Troy. But if Homer's story of Troy is true, what should we say about Greek myths and other mysteries? Could they also be true? Did the powers of the gods truly exist? If so, where did they come from? Every day, thousands of tourists visit temples and ruins in Greece built to worship gods from earlier eras. such as the Acropolis, Delphi, Parthenon, Temple of Apollo, etc. These ancient ruins evoke the awe-inspiring powers of beings said to have ruled the world thousands of years ago. When you look at mythological ruins worldwide, they contain stories of gods ascending and descending from the sky. You get the sense they landed, but the way they moved exceeded the understanding of the time. It happened in an instant. If the ancient Greeks created stories of gods as a primitive way to try to explain their universe, then what about similar reports from vastly different geographical and cultural regions across the globe? Could it just be a coincidence? Our earliest civilization dates back to 3800 BCE. The Sumerians actually had images depicting these beings and told of a period when they lived among living gods. They called these people Anunnaki, and the term simply means those who came from heaven to earth. The mythological world is chaotic, full of stories of gods descending to earth. Because mythology is very concerned with the relationship between gods and humans. That is inevitable because there was much information and interaction between the two worlds. The adventures of the gods. In holy books, there are many descriptions. They don't call them gods but supernatural beings who communicated with humans. Several thousand years ago, when our ancestors were still primitive, extraterrestrials landed on this planet. Due to misunderstandings about technology, our ancestors thought these creatures were superior even to the gods. According to ancient mythology, Mount Olympus was considered the dwelling place of the gods on the highest mountain in Greece. At the peak of Olympus, Zeus sat on his throne and decided the fate of humans. Whenever Olympus is mentioned, it is described as a magnificent palace atop the mountain. The palace walls always shimmered with gold, silver, and many rays of light described as precious gems. Olympus is not necessarily the highest mountain peak, but could be a spaceship, as it is sometimes described as having large movements and the entire mountaintop being lifted. But if Mount Olympus was the dwelling of aliens, could Zeus be their leader? According to the epic Iliad, Zeus is often depicted holding a thunderbolt in his hand. That seems to be a weapon of ultimate power, as Zeus could destroy entire cities with it. Similarly, Zeus's brother Poseidon, lord of the seas, held a trident in his hand. This type of weapon could create devastating tsunamis. Poseidon's trident seems to have more capabilities than an ordinary trident. Additionally, Zeus is also known as Jupiter, and Poseidon is called Neptune. These names all appear in Roman mythology. Is this a coincidence? But if the stories of the Greek and Roman gods are true, could evidence of their existence be found elsewhere on Earth? On the northwest coast of Brittany in France, one of Europe's most important prehistoric sites, are the coastal stone rows at Carnac, with over 3,000 stones arranged in lines stretching over 3 kilometers. The slabs were carved from local stone and formed between 4,500 and 2,500 BCE, the time marking the end of the Stone Age. This is the world's largest collection of standing stones. Archaeologists face difficulties when studying the stones at Carnac. Clearly, this is a structure made of granite weighing from 50 to 100 tons, even up to 350 tons. What was the main purpose of these massive stones? And why did prehistoric people move them to arrange them at Carnac? Thousands of huge stones are arranged in intriguing patterns. They are aligned in straight lines that can only be seen from above. The question arises, was this a way to communicate with aliens? Related to this stone complex, Pindar, an ancient Greek poet, tells of the mysterious land Hyperborea. Far to the north, where the sun shines for 24 hours. Legend mentions that every 20 years, the god of light Apollo would come to Hyperborea in a chariot with fiery wheels. I will go visit some people in a very distant place, where the north wind blows. And I will have to teach them. While mainstream archaeologists speculate that the stone rose at Karnak might have been used to mark graves, the ancient astronaut theory believes they were intentionally formed into special geometric structures. Many speculations have existed for centuries, and only in recent years in France have they begun photographing the entire Brittany region by plane. When piecing the photos together, some realized this was not random. The length of the straight lines is always 2,860 meters, while the width is exactly half, 143 m. Even the angles are equal. It is a Pythagorean triangle. All form a huge geometric pattern. In the Stone Age, that was not feasible. At that time, humans had no concept of the Pythagorean theorem. So why is the geometric arrangement of the Karnak stones so precise, over 2,000 years before the Pythagorean theorem was established? The Karnak stones are one of the few monuments on Earth visible from space. Many visitors to Karnak claim they can actually feel the energy emanating from the granite blocks. How could ancient people have understood this energy source? Is it possible they used this energy to move and erect the stones? In my opinion, aliens showed our ancestors how to do it under their guidance. And if the Greek god Apollo was truly an ancient astronaut, then it is possible the Karnak stones were navigational tools pointing the way to the distant northern land, the Hyperborea of the ancient gods. In the ancient scriptures of the Jews, a prophet is also described who traveled through the sky with an advanced vehicle. That is Enoch, the seventh elder, a prophet in the Old Testament period, including the Gathora of the Jewish community. The Bible says that God took him away on a fiery chariot to go to heaven. Do you recognize that there is a person who can go to heaven, can go to a distant place? Can realize the similarity with Apollo and the land of Hyperborea we just mentioned earlier? Looking further, such similar events are not limited to the myths of the Greeks and Romans. In India, the ancient epic Mahabharata describes the secret journeys of the gods, who possessed advanced techniques of space travel. The ancient Kailash temple of the god Shiva in Indian mythology is one of the typical examples of construction that the technology and resources of that time could not achieve. Archaeologists believe that the monolithic temple, over 100 meters high, was carved from the mountain top to the bottom. It is estimated that to build this temple, 400,000 tons of stone had to be moved. But interestingly, it was built in a period of only 18 years. Moreover, if such a large amount of stone was excavated, where was it up? Because there are no signs of stone fragments, no additional stones were used in the temple for any other parts. Hypotheses suggest that there was some kind of advanced technology or device to melt the stone parts that needed to be removed. Thus, the excess stones turned into dust. Furthermore, the Kailash temple complex has up to 100 caves, but only 34 of them are open to the public for visits. Not only that, the entrances to tunnels to see other temples are also banned by the government. This makes us curious about what the remaining ones might be hiding. Could it be that ancient artifacts contain secrets related to aliens that the government cannot risk exposing to the public? Returning to Greek myths as well as those around the world, they also have stories about gods descending from the sky and crossbreeding with women on Earth to create a new race of humans.
The descendants of these couples were described by the ancients as demigods or half-gods. These children could connect with stars far beyond the scope of the Earth. This special ability existed from birth with more evolved DNA components. That is perhaps something science should pay attention to for research.
Some of the oldest reports of hybrids between gods and humans can be found in the ancient texts of the Hindus.
In the ancient Sanskrit documents of India, we find the following description.
Queen Kunti mated with a creature from the sky, an alien creature known as the sun god. The product of this union was Kana, one of the heroes in India's epic Mahabharata. They believe that star Chiran represents superior beings regarded as gods. Star Chiran is often used as a reference in ancient texts when a woman has had intercourse with one of the gods.
Often related to a woman suddenly becoming.
And you know, is such a thing possible? The answer is yes.
Artificial insemination, that is what happens today. This resembles descriptions from thousands of years ago, when women did not sleep with anyone but unexpectedly became pregnant.
The question raised is simply, why could it happen thousands of years ago? In some records of ancient civilizations, we can see reports of mating between creatures and humans, then creating monsters or giants or similar creatures.
I personally believe that because it actually happened in the past. Perhaps ancient stories about giant creatures, half human, half beast, all originated from truth.
If so, could the giants we often search for be descendants of aliens? Many great stone structures that researchers identify as remnants of giants are found in many places across Europe, the Middle East, South America, and Asia. They are called by the most common name, dolmen, which means stone table. Archaeology often uses the word dolmen, which previously was known in folklore as the tomb of giants. A stone tomb shaped like the Greek letter pi with a cap on top. They are made from huge limestone blocks. And even today we must marvel at who built these structures and wonder how they placed the capstone on top of the vertical pillars. Unless it was people many times larger than us. They were built throughout the Middle Bronze Age around 2000 to 1500 BC, when no evidence of any advanced equipment has been found to date. Seeing such structures, one would think those must have been built by giants. I mean, ordinary humans could not do that.
Returning to the origins of giants, the question arises, how did these genetic mutations appear?
The central principle of ancient astronaut theory suggests that thousands of years ago, aliens altered our genome primarily through gene swapping for experimentation.
They captured pairs of men and women, changed their DNA, and released them back into later through reproduction. These individuals passed on a new genome to the entire community.
So, are we currently good products or not? What reason would alien visitors have for creating Earth's inhabitants by mixing and breeding with bizarre species?
Or is it the result of some serious, flawed scientific experiments?
And if giants and mythical monsters are also examples of genetic mutations, what purpose did they serve? Scholars and archaeologists generally agree that around 3000 BC, during the Stone Age, humanity made a leap in building civilization and applying technology. Based on mythology and legends, humans accepted deals with gods in exchange for knowledge. But if those gods were actually aliens, humanity's leap could reveal much about the true origins of the universe. Clearly, something affected multiple continents on the planet around 3000 BC.
Pyramids also began to be constructed at that time.
Why such a coincidence in timing? What was that command? Was it a global command? Could it have been a command from forces outside this world? If aliens intervened to accelerate human development, Might they have influenced humanity at other critical points in history? And if so, they might still be observing us to this day. That is entirely plausible, as it's natural for them to care about the development of their own creations. One final issue we often wonder: is it strange to believe that aliens tried every way to look like us, even think like us? The answer is no. They don't randomly resemble us, rather, we resemble them, because we are their creations.
So, in your opinion, why did aliens interbreed with humans? Was it to preserve their own lineage, or to easily conceal genetic structural differences while living on Earth?
Because what if aliens are living right among us? Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below and continue with Primitive Universe in the next episode of A Part of History.
For now, Viet Quang says goodbye.